Alright, so once your explosion view is created to your satisfaction, now we're going to create a drawing file with this view in it, where we're actually going to create a parts list. So it's going to look like one of those IKEA furniture assembly type things. So make sure that this guy is saved, and we're going to open that drawing template, which is located in the iDrive, Math, Polax, 1617. IED, and there it is, drawing template. Okay, so we are going to, just like we did with the part files, we're going to go to your base. We're going to add an explosion. Now, if I bring in the front, view, it doesn't look awesome because the front view really probably isn't the best way to go about looking at an exploded view. Probably we're going to want an isometric view, and that looks a lot better. So I'm going to go my top right isometric view, which is my home view in the presentation file. I'm going to click, and then right click and OK to create. I would like this to look realistic, so I'm going to double click on it and change that to shaded, and OK. So the size of this file was created to work well with like individual parts. Probably doesn't work so awesome for an exploded view, especially like if you went crazy and dragged your pieces like 3 miles out. So we can change the scale of this guy. If I double click, over here is scale 1 to 1. If I change it to a 1 to 2, it'll cut it in half. I don't know if I want to cut it completely in half. Maybe I'll change it to a scale of 2:3. Bring that down to 2/3 of its current size. That's a pretty good size for me. All right. So we could add some text in here, annotations. Add some text. Make a little text box. Call this guy exploded view. I could even probably make him a little bit bigger. If I double click, here's your size option. Maybe change that to 0.24. Alright, what else can we do here? Well, I need a parts list. I want a parts list to specify all the different parts that go into this guy. So, if I come up to annotate, and there's your parts list option right there. So I'm going to select that. Select view. Which view do you want a parts list of? I want a parts list of my presentation file. So navigate to where you have your presentation file saved. Alright, and I'm going to accept the options currently set and click OK. So here's my parts list. Alright, move my exploded view text out of the way. Alright, so there's a couple things that we can modify here. By default it comes in with the description column, which in many cases could be helpful. In our case, what's the description of the red part? It's the red part, so we probably don't need that column. We can adjust this. If you double click on your parts list, there is a column chooser setting up here. So if I select that setting, here's the stuff that you currently have in your parts list. Here's all the stuff that you could have in your parts list. So like if you wanted to know, I don't know, the mass of your parts list, or of each part, you could select mass and add it, and if I click OK and apply, now you've got a mass column. I don't want that, and I don't want description, so I'm going to double click on this again and go back to that column chooser, description, remove, mass, remove, and then click OK and apply. Alright, so now my parts list is the way that I want it. You notice that it has items are labeled by number, quantity, and then the part name, really. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add balloons, little balloon numbers pointing at each one of these pieces to indicate which item number they are. So here's your balloon tab. If you click on each piece, so I'll click on my purple piece, pull that out, I'll click again. Now I could keep clicking in crazy zigzags, but that's kind of silly. So rather than doing that, I hit escape, balloon, click on that guy, move out, click once, and then right-click and continue. And notice that it said that was 5. Why does it say that's 5? That's the first item I clicked. Well, because that came into my parts list as item 5, so it automatically numbers that for you. Alright, so go ahead and click, click, right-click, continue, whoop, click, click, right-click, continue, and so on and so forth, so that you can get all your balloons in there. Alright. So, once you've got all of your balloons and you've got your parts list, you can go ahead and throw your name down here. And save. Okay, so that's what's going to be going inside your OneNote. So inside your OneNote section, you'd have your part files all the way through, you'd have your assembly file in there, and now inside here, this is where you're going to drop your exploded view file and your exploded view video, and then over here is where you can take a screenshot of this guy and paste him right into your CAD modeling section.